Stuff right now. So good. So Judy's putting her foot literally in her mouth right now. Oh my God! Yay. Hi, this is our number 15. Podcast.
We trust you to come up with the number because I have no idea.
Wait, is it? Yeah, 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing at age 15?
I just knocked down a shelf.
Good
Did
job.
you?
No, you didn't knock down the shelf. You just knocked down.
It's okay. How are you
It's
doing,
okay.
everyone? Thank you for joining us.
We haven't even started with our wine yet, so
No,
you know,
we haven't.
it's what
I
is
want to
going
do
on.
this.
So, oh my
Oh
God.
my
Oh,
God.
right, forget about it.
I
now.
wanted to do that.
Oh!
Okay.
I did not. You didn't tell us that. See, she's disgusted. Like it's my fault that she knocked that down.
Well, let's
No,
just go
no,
with it.
no,
People are waiting to hear.
fine.
What do we have going on?
Well,
It's,
we're gonna soon be doing Thanksgiving.
Are you? Raise your hand if you're hosting Thanksgiving with cooking and everything.
Well, I'm going away for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
But Samantha and I will be doing the cooking. We always do.
I
so.
think what you're doing is
She
so
rents
awesome.
a house up in Shenandoah area in
Oh,
Virginia,
how beautiful.
in the middle of nowhere.
Samantha's awesome.
She really is. And we're all going up
When
there.
you say we, how many?
Well, it's me and Samantha and her husband Aaron and my daughter Jessica and her husband Peter and my 2 grandkids.
What do you do with the
So-
dogs? Is Meatball coming?
No, they all come. All
Oh,
the
nice.
dogs come
See,
too.
that's perfect.
That's
So
great.
it's
That's
so
great.
it's so nice. We did it last year too. We went to Pennsylvania in the middle of the woods. It was very nice. We had a good
I
time.
love that.
You know, you build a fire at night, sit
Aw.
outside. And
What was
So-
the weather like last year?
it was cloudy, but it didn't rain. It was nice. We didn't care. So.
And what are you doing?
Natasha will be cooking, and Corey and Matt and Andrew probably will
Everybody
be cooking.
wants Natasha cooking.
Yes, Natasha's a good cook.
She's
She's a
amazing.
very good cook.
Amazing.
And then we'll be having my other pseudo kids over. I helped raise them years ago, Lisa, Kathy, and Nikki, and their significant others.
And they also bring their dog. Well, I know Lisa
Yes.
doesn't have it, but Natasha
Right,
and Corey, they bring their dog.
there will be how many dogs? Because Nikki has a dog now, and Angel.
And Elwood, right, Kathy's Angel.
Kathy's Angel. So there will be 8 dogs. How many?
5, 6, 7,
And that'll be
8.
Sherlock.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Sherlock. So folks, I don't know if we mentioned this for sure in any of the previous podcasts, but on podcast number 10, I said that he was my foster dog and we were looking for his forever home. He found it!
Yeah.
He found his forever home, as Mickey Grossman predicted,
And me.
and Judy. And Peggy was silently hoping, even though she knew the importance of him getting into a good home, because that's the purpose of fostering. He just stole my heart. Sherlock
He's a
is
perfect.
He is. He's a good dog. He's easy.
He's easy, perfectly. He slept the first night through the night. When I get up in the morning, he gets up and he wags his little tail like, "Oh, we're getting up now." He has yet to do any sort of bad thing in the house.
Like
He is-
eat his poop like that big boy Lewis.
God, yeah, my little boy Louis. Just thank you for sharing that.
But I love Lewis.
But Cheryl came from, who's the
Okay.
volunteer for?
Yorkie 911, and Heidi is the president of Yorkie 911, and she's going to be at our next podcast.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're gonna, and I told her to bring some of her dogs with her.
No way.
Way.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yay, I'm
So-
excited for that.
Yeah, so that'll be really awesome. So, and of course I have Lacey, and like Peggy mentioned, Lewis. So, yeah, I'm a dog lover.
You'll have a lot of animals for Thanksgiving.
I will,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Excellent.
we mentioned before we came on the air that we just started watching the new
Crown.
The Crown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in my 4th episode, I think it is, with the Fayeds. Is that the 4th one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I
Here we
just
go.
watched that.
People walking by, folks. See, that's Sherlock.
No,
Sherlock.
that's Lacey.
Oh no, that's Lewis, I think. Anyway,
So when we say the new season, we've all
The new
caught
season,
up. So
yes,
now they're
yeah.
on there. So they're on the Diana years, right? And so
Yes.
this is the time when they're with Diana and Camilla, and the tensions going on with all of them.
Well, also Andrew Morton
Yeah.
doing the biography with her,
Yeah.
and
So that's where we are.
and it's yes. So what are you thinking so far? Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm not loving it. I mean, I'm watching it. I think I was kind of binging it last night a bit. I think I just finished the fourth. If that was about
What
the
was that? What-
Fayeds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, and he just renovated Kensington Palace.
That's the one I just finished. So
Oh,
up
okay.
to that one.
Okay, so
yeah.
now you know
Basically all
that
the
she
same.
and Judy are gonna start being friends, right?
Right, because the father and Diana met at the races.
Yes.
At the races,
Yes,
yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
So we're all on the same page.
I'm having a hard time picturing her as Diana
Yes.
and the guy for King Charles.
Yeah.
King Charles wasn't that good looking.
Oh,
I'm
gosh,
sorry,
no.
he's just not good looking.
No, that
And-
was not a good cast.
And
for
I
King
say,
Charles.
no, you needed somebody a little homelier because
Right.
he's not
The
a.
younger King
handsome
Charles was
man.
well cast.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
He really
yes.
got it.
But it's okay.
It's boring.
It's okay.
I found I was fast forwarding through a lot of it because number one, and here's the thing I think is when I say we lived through it, it's recent history. So it's like, oh yeah, I know this story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the older ones, like what?
Yeah, because you were learning about that history.
Absolutely.
I think it's not that the story is boring because we did live through it.
Yeah.
We knew the story, and there's nothing about Diana and Charles and Andrew and Fergie, and that's boring if it's done correctly.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think that the way that they're casting, whether it be the cast
Yeah.
or the way that they're writing it, what
Yeah.
they're choosing to show or not show. It's
Yeah.
not as engaging as the real life version was.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
like the fact that Prince Philip,
Right.
that there's more about him,
With
and
the
he seems to
storyline,
be
with
a
his-
very likable character.
Right, with
You
the
know,
with the
with the woman whose daughter,
yeah,
that was very
died.
surprising to me. That was
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, I like that. Now, is the one who plays Diana, is she the same that was?
No.
No.
I didn't think so, and I
No.
liked her as Diana in the last season.
Yeah. Yeah. This
That
one's
last
taller
episode.
and-
Yeah, I know. She's too tall.
Yeah.
She looks
yeah.
like a stick.
Well,
now-
the woman who
Olive
plays
oil.
Queen, she's in this version, all I keep seeing, because she was the actress who played Professor Umbridge in the Harry Potter
Yeah,
series. So all I keep thinking is her, and
Yeah.
she's not a likable character,
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
series. I'm like, oh, this isn't
Yeah.
working.
Yeah,
I think that she's good for the role. I didn't mind her. I mean, but Diana and Charles, they're like, yeah.
Yeah. The whole
and-
thing is intimate.
And even Margaret, she didn't seem like Margaret to me.
Well, that was I was like trying to guess. Is that supposed to be Margaret? Because
Yeah.
In the beginning,
yeah.
in the
There's
beginning
Margaret
it was-
and then Anne,
yes,
her daughter
right.
Anne. So
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
so
not-
it's there's nothing else on, so I'll watch it.
Well,
you know.
I'm
Well-
still behind. I only saw the first episode of the new season of Handmaid's Tale.
Oh.
So
Right. Right.
I'm gonna go to that one, but that's not something I can
Handmaids.
watch when
Well,
the girls are around. So I
But
have to-
I'm going to start watching Handmaids again.
from the beginning.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it from
All
the
right, I
beginning
can
because
see
I
that.
really, really love Handmaids, even though it's a very, very
You love
disturbing
Handmaids.
shirt. Yes, I love
She
Handmaids.
loves
Yes.
Handmaids.
Well, I know I mentioned in the last podcast.
Oh my God, your dogs are very, very bad. Terrible.
Sorry, guys. Because my son keeps going in and out, like he has a right.
I know, really. How dare he? How dare he live his
How
life?
dare he live his life. Anyway, for the fourth time, I would have to say that I've been binge watching The West Wing, because
I know.
Have you watched The West
No.
Wing? Oh my goodness.
I had to stop watching it.
I don't even understand.
Because it got to be too much. I'll be right back.
Okay, somebody's gonna deal with this.
What? No more barking.
Guys, no more barking.
Be good.
Anyway, okay, folks.
No
So
more
we're
barking.
just.
So will you
okay.
continue watching
It's
the
okay.
Crown?
Oh, I'll continue, but I might do a lot of fast forwarding. This is
Oh,
like,
they can't do that.
yeah. Anyway, so the episodes in The West Wing, like I said.
Oh my gosh, back to the West
yeah,
Wing.
So anyway, I want to talk about a scene that I just thought was just powerful. And now when I share it, you're gonna be like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Okay.
So Josh Lyman, who was the Deputy White House Chief of Staff, and he's to the Bartlett administration, and Leo McGarry, and they're having a conversation. Now Josh had been shot at, so there was an assassination attempt. And so why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? She's laughing at me.
Just go ahead. Good
Okay,
too.
no, he survived it, but he had post-traumatic syndrome. And it could have been a problem for him being in his position at the White House. And so they sent a therapist to come in and talk to him, and the therapist was played by Adam Arkin, Alan Arkin's son. And so they're making this really difficult right now. So his boss, Leo McGarry, the White House Chief of Staff.
Just read it.
No, I can't because I just wrote this in bullet points. So the Chief of Staff, Leo McGarry, was waiting after the therapy session, and this is on Christmas Eve, and he goes walking by, and he goes, "Oh, you're still here?" And the man goes, "Yes," and he goes, "Why are you still here?" And he goes, "You know what? There was this man that fell in a hole, and it was too steep for him to get out himself. So a doctor passes by and he shouts up asking for help. The doctor writes him a prescription and tosses it down and just keeps on walking. A priest walks by and he yells out, 'Help!' And the priest wrote a prayer out and threw it down, and he moves on. Then a friend comes by and he shouts up to that friend, and the friend jumps down into the hole with him. And the man in the hole says, 'Are you stupid? Now we're both down here.' And the friend goes, 'Yes, but I've been down here already, and I know the way out.'" And that's what I feel like with our friendship, is that we are in different... Now, don't you feel bad? I hope a little bit.
She was laughing, not me, Carol. It was what, Judy.
No, I feel like, when somebody's going through something, you can offer your prayers and best
My
wishes.
thoughts and prayers.
Yeah,
Thoughts and prayers are with
but
you. Well, that's actually one of the themes I was thinking of doing later on was about friendship.
Wow.
And just
I should have saved that.
You should have saved it because it's a
stuff.
word that gets thrown around, especially with Facebook nowadays. We're friends.
Yeah.
Or, you're friends, but I have a very narrow definition of friends. And a lot of the people that are friends. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm more saying they're an acquaintance, or because if you're a friend, you're going to be there.
Absolutely.
And
you both
throw it down, ask questions later.
You're both awesome, good friends.
So are you.
No, I really appreciate it.
Oh no, you make glasses
Oh,
to say.
Friendship. That's one of our podcasts.
It is. It's
I
true.
know.
It's,
There's a lot to be said
There's a
about
lot
friendship.
to be. A lot of people can have lots
Real
of friends,
friends,
but
yes.
you really don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah,
It's
right,
in
yeah.
this life,
Absolutely.
it's.
Absolutely. And one thing I love to do with my friends. Can you
Do a
guess?
podcast and drink wine.
Wine. The wine.
Yay! I can do this one. This is my turn. Yay!
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this.
Okay.
What do you
And
got?
I have no set talk for this. I purely bought this bottle because of the cover only.
I love
the
the
title.
label.
This is called 1,000 Stories, and it's a Zinfandel. This is a California wine, which I love California wines. I don't
So
know
do
how
I.
you feel about
No,
it.
I love California
some
wines. They're my
people-
favorites.
Oh, no. but
Californias are my
Yeah.
favorite wines.
I love California wines, and Zinfandels I could take or leave. We had a little discussion off camera about them, but
That's a dark Zinfandel. I'm gonna like this one.
It has a buffalo on it too, which also
I love the label.
Buffalo.
I love the label and I
I-
love the name of the wine.
It's so well done. 1,000 Stories for their marketing, because he got me with just the cover. I didn't hear a review. I didn't hear
This is
anything
all fine.
about it.
But what's kind of funny is that I think it was Natasha had said to me, was it Natasha? I'm pretty sure, who said that we should do a talk on just
Can I see that?
wine labels, like how
I
they
that's
love
a good
wine
idea.
labels.
Yeah.
Because that's what drew me to this one. Now this is, I bought at my local wine store, 777 Liquors in West Islip. The price point is $17.99.
Okay.
So I like to smell what it. Oh, I like it.
And what are we toasting?
I can't
well-
read that label.
So this is going to air When are we airing this?
Next week.
Yeah, 19th.
19th.
November
So
19th.
what do we have going on then? Well, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving
Yes,
to
happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Anybody
Yes,
have
happy birthday
Thanksgiving.
to my brother Carl.
Oh, happy birthday, Carl.
November
Cheers, cheers.
15th.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
My friend Valerie's birthday is coming up November 28th. We've been friends since 2nd grade.
Oh
We
my
were
gosh.
good friends as teenagers. We've known each other
Right.
since I think 1st grade.
All right.
And then when we were teenagers, after we graduated from elementary school, we became very good friends.
Do you call her Val?
I call her Val. She
Oh,
lives in
happy birthday,
Hawaii.
Val.
I
Happy
very,
birthday.
very rarely see her.
Cheers to Val.
Cheers to Val and Carl and happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, I like this one better than the last one.
I can't say that I do. I like the other one better.
I like the other one better,
Mm,
but this is good.
I like
It's
this.
just not as the other. Maybe let me try the second sip. It's good.
So I wouldn't turn it away. I'm gonna drink it, but
You wouldn't turn much.
I like it. This is not the Zinfandel that I was expecting.
That's
those
what it is.
very
It's
light ones
Zinfandel,
that
so
look
you know
like
I don't drink a lot of
rosé.
Zinfandel, so
I
maybe it's
was
just what I'm
trying to
thinking of.
read it and
Here, I have
see
let me put my
if
light on.
see if it's an old vine Zinfandel.
Is that what
Because
it says?
they're the ones that are the best ones.
Okay, so
And
it's
I've
a
never
barrel-
seen
All right, let me read
a
this here.
Zinfandel.
It's bourbon
that's
It's
barrel
good.
bourbon,
I saw that,
bourbon
yeah.
barrel aged. It's from 2017, Zinfandel, California. Let me read the back. It's by Bob Blue, who's the winemaker. All right, when I was young, so it's blah blah blah. Okay, and let me see. We look for. Okay, today American and French oak wine barrels are commonplace. For the inspiration of 1,000 stories is a nod to the way things were. We've selected new and used bourbon barrels for these bunches of Zinfandel, which impart characteristics specific to these barrels: charred vanilla, dried herbs, and a hint of caramel. No, it doesn't say anything about old
Oh,
wines.
okay. Well, I mean, it's good. I like it.
It's good. I have to say, Carol, the one you gave the last podcast,
Yeah.
I think is my favorite.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that one too.
Of the
yeah.
two.
Right.
I like this. I think this has a nicer taste
I think it's
to it.
because
It's
the
a little
bourbon
more
barrel-
fruity.
It's what it is
It's a little
delicious.
more
though. It's
fruity.
it's not about this is delicious. It's
Right.
just we just had this very really. I'm sorry, but no, this is very very good, and for the price, it's good quality for the price.
Usually,
Yes.
all the Zinfandels that I don't like that I've
you see
seen
it?
are that pink color, almost like a rosé
Are you
color.
like a white Zinfandel? You don't
Yeah,
want a
that's white
Zinfandel. No,
Zinfandel.
not white
then.
Zinfandel.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah,
No.
but this is good. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this isn't sweet like a white Zinfandel.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, I don't like them
This
at all.
this is nice.
Yeah.
It's
not a thick wine. It's not full body.
It's more the body of a Pinot Noir, I would think.
Not
Pinot
really.
Noir is
No.
kind of light.
The Pinot Noir
I
is
think.
light. Yeah, I think this is kind of in between.
Yeah, I think it's more between. For me anyway. But you know what? That's the thing with taste buds.
That's right. That's right. You just
But
never
you know
want to
what?
agree with me.
No.
Either way, I'm gonna drink it. So I'm
Yeah.
happy with, and I'm happy
Yes,
with it.
it's
This
very
is a good
good.
one. Yeah.
And
So-
I love the label and the
I do.
And the
Yeah.
buffalo, you
I
know.
no 1,000
Where the
stories.
buffalo-
Is,
Yeah, the name
uh,
1,000 Stories. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I wonder what the origin of that was.
Yeah, we should do a little research.
I think there was something on the back when we were talking about the French and the American barrels and how the melding
Yeah.
the two perhaps or something.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me
Yeah.
of this book that I
Because
read.
they used old and new barrels, so maybe it has something to do with the old
Right,
ones.
it's the stories from both,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Well, speaking of books, because you mentioned book, it's my turn.
It is.
And I'm actually going to share a book that is for the younger reader. And full disclosure, I'm helping the authors with publicity for the book, The Ivy Hero, The Brave Life of Sergeant William Shemin. And what's interesting about this book is that he fought in World War I. He saved a lot of people. He was a hero, but they did not give him any Medal of Honor because he was Jewish. And it wasn't until his daughter went to battle for him to get the Medal of Honor. And President Barack Obama did give him the honor. And this is what Barack Obama said at the speech at the White House ceremony on June 2nd, 2015. And it was posthumously that he had to give this honor, obviously. So Sergeant Shemin served at a time when the contributions and heroism of Jewish Americans in uniform were too often overlooked. But William Shemin saved American lives. He represented our nation with honor. And so it is my privilege, on behalf of the American people, to make this right and finally award the Medal of Honor to Sergeant William Shemin. Sergeant Shemin's extraordinary heroism and selflessness, above and beyond the call of duty, are in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service. America is the country we are today because of people like Henry Johnson. Now, Henry Johnson was an African American that they also got him this Medal of Honor from World War I. And William Shemin, Americans who signed up to serve and rose to meet their responsibilities and then went beyond. The least we can do is to say, we know who you are. We know what you did for us. We are forever grateful. And so the daughter of this hero really was tireless in her efforts to get these Medal of Honors. And what's interesting is that it turns out that Shemin, he ended up having a property in Shazy, New York.
Oh.
Yeah, and which is not far from where I grew up. And so it's an important story. It should be taught in school, and instead of whitewashing history and making some people say, oh, we can't make our kids feel bad for what we did, but we need to be honest for what we did, and this book is a step toward that, to getting the word out on what the heroes, what they did. And we talked in our last podcast about the veterans and going to fight for us and making that decision. And I strongly encourage teachers, if you're listening,
Yes.
to get this in the classroom. And that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to help get this into teachers' hands. Couldn't get a lot of press for it, but we were combating the election, so trying to get attention for anything other than what was going on. But again, it has a happy ending in a way, that he did get the Medal of Honor, but posthumously, so he never got to see it. But he always told his daughter, don't go, rushing to try to get it. I don't need it. And that shows me just how selfless he was.
That's what our hero.
Yeah.
That's what a hero is.
So,
That's right.
The
That's right.
IV hero. IV stands for the Roman numeral IV, Roman numeral 4.
4. Yeah.
And so, the brave life of Sergeant William Shemin. And again, it's for younger people, but I learned a lot in reading this, and it comes with a lot of photographs. And
That's the best way kids, I find will learn better. Rather than hearing just a lecture or seeing something, is to give them a story of a person and to put it in a background, and that's something they'll take with them, and that's what they'll learn, and that's what they might aspire to. If they're not introduced to stories like this,
Exactly.
It's no wonder why maybe our military enrollment is declining, and so forth. We need more introductions like this.
Absolutely.
Now, what's the significance of the Roman numeral IV?
That was the it says right in here, and I don't want to misquote. That's why it says that he was in the U.S. Army's 4th Division, which is known as the IV Division because the Roman numeral is 4.
Okay.
Good looking man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
that's him.
I love old photographs
Me
too.
too.
I love looking through a book that has old
Oh my
photographs.
goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, one of the podcasts that I want to do in the coming new year is going to be about our real history. Kind of like Liza, my teacher, told me.
Nice.
Oh,
And,
wow.
omissions of, real historical figures, like people like,
That would be great.
this man here or so. But it's going to take a lot of preparation for that
Yeah.
one. That's why I was going to do it this week. But I was so busy this week, and I said, you know what, I can't
We can always
I
do like
can't
a
prepare.
two-parter, too.
Exactly, but now I think that's something all of us could contribute to. It could be like
Yeah.
there are always three-way discussions, but
Sure.
everybody could bring their own points into that.
But Peggy made a really interesting comment. Like she's like talked about research, and it just goes to show that this podcast is just pushing us to do
Educate
more.
ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all fairness though, and that's why I love that we're doing this, these women here are so intelligent. And like our discussion
I don't feel intelligent.
No, actually, our discussions before we started doing this were always very, factual based, and we would look things up and would bring. So that's, in a way, I'm glad that we're just we're doing this now, but it
Yes.
just pushed us to go that extra mile. But
Right.
this is, you
Well,
ladies don't sell
I
yourself
think
short
that's
in
why
that way.
too.
Yeah.
This is so authentic because if we
Yeah, that was
didn't
the
have
word
the
I was
camera,
thinking.
if we didn't have
That's
the
the main
camera
word. That's our
aimed at
theme.
us, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's our
I mean,
theme.
we could all be going out to dinner together because we're real friends.
Right.
And we've known each other for years and years and years. And if we didn't have a camera rolling,
We just be talking to the waiter, bringing them in, and saying,
But they still would laugh at me and make fun of me when I was struggling with
Yes.
this scene.
yes, that was a lot. That was a lot.
This really isn't much different of a format than when we get together. In a way, that's kind
No,
of
it isn't. Except for when we
We
get
have a
together.
camera.
Before this, we didn't pick us.
Oh,
Today
we're
when we
gonna
get
talk
together, let's talk about this. We
Right.
just started talking about things, and
Exactly.
and if we didn't know something about a subject somebody brought up, like we learned from each other. And you know what? I'm a big one. Oh, let me Google that.
Oh,
you
she
know,
is,
so I've really been enjoying doing this and learning
Yeah.
about the subjects that we picked.
And
Well,
I
the next subject, because we're almost out of time for a half hour here, but the next subject is going to be Peggy's and talk about learning about.
Inventions.
I'm looking
So,
forward to
yeah.
that.
But before we just wanted to thank you for bringing in a children's, a young adult. I know we
Okay.
did the young adult novel, you did, but this is a young adult nonfiction. And we do have a lot of teachers too that may
Yeah.
be
Right.
paying attention, and I think it's really important to bring a lot of variety to what we
Thank you.
present. And I think this is a really good book for teachers. Please, if you're a teacher, pick it up and just bring it into your.
Is it
collective
available
knowledge.
at
Yes, it actually came out. Yeah, Tuesday. They brought it
Oh,
out on
excellent.
Tuesday. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Very
I
good.
definitely
Alrighty.
Stay tuned.
Alrighty. So
Stay
we'll be
tuned.
back in a few minutes.
about inventions
Yes.
like cameras and things.
Maybe we'll get a light.
We weren't on the camera when we said
We're
that.
back.
No,
Turn up the light just a little
now I have to turn up the light.
How's that look, Pam?
That's much better.
Excellent.
Okay, and can you flip the screen? so we can
Okay,
just-
here we are. This is all live, folks.
It is, just so we know that we're there.
We're back.
You're so cute the way you just bent down.
Well, I didn't want my face to be in it.
All right.
Oh,
So we had the wine. We had talked about the
Look.
book. Now we're on our topic. Peggy's got it for today. What are we talking
We're
about?
talking about inventions today.
Ooh,
So
not,
bring it
not
on, bring it
intervention.
on.
No, not interventions. I feel like I'm sitting too
We did
close
that
to
last
you.
week.
Yeah.
So,
And we also now have an audience member. She
Yay!
oh, hi,
Yay!
audience member, Anya. Thank you for coming. She's always our only audience
know.
member.
Well,
she lives upstairs.
Wait, let's not tell them that. Let
No,
them think
I've actually
about
had requests to be in the audience.
Okay, the studio audience.
Really?
I have, yeah.
We'll have to talk about
We
that.
will talk, yes.
Mm.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So anyway, I wanted to talk about inventions because one day I was just thinking about things like, believe it or not, toilet paper. Like, what was it like
Oh, yeah.
before people invented
No.
toilet
Oh,
paper?
this was not where I thought we'd be going
No.
with.
And that's what made me think. I
Yeah.
said, oh my God, there are so many things
Mhm.
that we have in our daily lives that we take for granted, that
Yep.
they've always been there through our lives.
Thank
That,
God.
before they were invented,
Yeah.
what did people do? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what people used before toilet paper?
Leaves. Tree leaves.
Tree leaves,
Magazines.
cobs.
Newspaper.
corn cobs. Corn cobs. Can you imagine that?
We heard a gasp from the audience.
Ew.
And with the newspaper,
Wait, corn cob.
Yes, I know. I was shocked to
I
read
get a
that.
lot of those because I have chickens, and so I collect the
Well,
old corn cobs, and I couldn't imagine like putting them in a bucket and saying, "Here's a new batch
Yeah,
of corn
and
toilet paper."
And toilet paper was invented in 1857. Toilet paper as we know it
And
today.
who did it? Who invented
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't write all of that
Mr.
down.
Scott.
it?
It wasn't Mr. Scott. It
No.
was some guy who didn't patent it.
Shemin.
I don't remember who it was,
Oh,
but he didn't patent it.
okay.
And
Oh.
but and there were, it got better and better as time went on. The original toilet paper, there was like pieces of splinters in it, so
Yeah.
like because paper's made out of wood. But they
Right.
said in the 1700s they used corn cobs.
Oh my God.
And then in the 1800s, everybody used the Farmer's Almanac because
Oh.
they used to use newspapers, and then the magazines started and like Sears catalog was a
Yeah.
big one. Then they went to glossy paper,
Oh.
so it didn't work anymore.
That's not absorbent.
No. So then they started using the Farmer's Almanac because they didn't use
Okay.
glossy paper. And I don't know, I used to buy the Farmer's
Yes,
Almanac
yeah.
every year just for
Yes.
shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And you ever notice that little hole that they punch into it?
No.
There's
I
a
don't-
hole on the top of it.
No.
I remember it, yes, on the Farmer's Almanac.
Oh
They
my
still
God.
do it. They put it there because people started using it in the outhouse, and it was so they could hang it up on the nail.
So is that how the word shitstorm?
Oh.
Yeah, they
But-
drilled a
alright.
hole in the book in 1919. They
But
started drilling a hole in the
What's disturbing is that what did people use in the 1600s or they didn't? Ew.
book. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there were always leaves around.
Well, not
You know,
always.
so-
Okay, since we're on this, what's your favorite brand of toilet paper?
Scott.
I know she doesn't like Scott.
No, I
No,
don't. I like
I
Scott
like
because
Scott.
it's
You like
not all puffy and
She's very
cloggy
disp-
and-
Yeah,
she's
we're a soft as you can come, extra ply, soft. And a
Yeah.
funny story. I won't name which daughter because she will kill me. But I remember one time
They were
bought,
here.
No, it wasn't here.
Oh.
We bought Scott. It was probably a few years ago. Maybe one told me it was.
I
getting
know the
hard to
story.
find. Yeah, you know the story. And all we could find was Scott. We couldn't
Yeah.
find like the Charmin or the Fan. My daughters are so spoiled. Their tushies are so spoiled. So she put the Scott in the bathroom, and she comes out of the bathroom and serious as a stone. I was like, "What is this?" And I said, "That's all they had. That's all we could find." And why do they even make this? Why do they even sell this in the store?
Because it disintegrates better than the
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah.
And actually,
Lasts longer.
I started using Scott when I lived in Levittown before they put the sewers in. We had a cesspool, and they said do not use those other toilet papers at all because they clog up things. So Scott is better for the ecology, actually. So
that's
sorry.
probably true, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
but
I'm
don't
just
use
used to
that.
Scott. I use
Yeah,
it.
me
So.
too.
Oh,
me
but-
too.
But anyway, so then I started looking up like what were the best inventions that really changed people's lives.
Yeah.
So of course, what do you think? Number one, they did it in the years that it was invented.
Oh.
I have a good one.
But wait, what do you think?
Oh wait, it's not going to be on your list. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, all right. So what do I think was one of the best inventions?
Yeah, well, they said on a time thing
a
like
light bulb.
that
Right,
changed
no.
people's lives,
think
starting from.
I think I know the answer. 'cause
What's the
you
answer?
You mentioned it the other night, I think.
That's right, I
The-
did.
the wheel.
The wheel.
Oh, the wheel. of
The
course.
wheel.
Yes.
But then I was reading that the wheel, inventing that wasn't the hard part. It was, okay, now we have this wheel. How do we put a platform on it so that we could carry stuff, load
Yeah,
things
right.
on it? And it was the axle, fitting the axle into the wheel that was the
okay.
hard part because the axle had to be perfectly smooth and round
Yes.
and the hole had to be this right size for
Right.
the axle rod.
Interesting.
And so I thought that was interesting
No,
because
that's
I know
very, yeah.
because the wheel was invented and they didn't have an axle, and that's
Right.
how they said, okay, now we can put a platform
So
on.
when do they attribute the wheel to having been
They
invented?
put 35 BC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the wheel and axle, the axle was the hard part, connecting a moving platform to a moving cylinder. So yeah, 3500 BC.
Love that.
So then, what do you think date-wise would be the next important?
Oh, we have to
Oh,
go
what you mean, like,
chronological?
Yeah, like starting from the beginning of time.
Oh, okay, so the next, oh, wow.
Bathrooms, indoor plumbing.
No,
I
no,
think
from 35 BC. You want to go further back than indoor
I'm
plumbing.
really in tune to the bathroom.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you because you guys aren't cooperating.
I can't even imagine.
The nail.
Oh,
Before the nail, when they were building things, they had to cut wood
the
and they had to,
ducktail.
and
Yeah.
yeah, they had to do that. So the nail,
my
once they
God.
started using iron, the first nails were like really a mess. They were flat and like
Yeah.
it was hard to make. Before they discovered steel, they were made out of iron, and that dates back 2,000 years. But it made building so much easier than cutting the
All right,
wood
so
to
if
fit into
it goes
each other.
that, so, okay, and that was BC?
No, 2,000
That would
years
be
ago. So
AD.
that would be AD.
So okay, it's kind of,
That would be 22.
yeah, but when you see.
18.
You know, I know where
movies-
you're going. I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
With Jesus on the
Yes,
cross.
like Jesus on the
Well,
cross.
he wasn't BC.
But
He wasn't BC.
he wasn't 2,000 years
He wasn't
AD.
Jesus.
No, it isn't. No, 2,000 years ago. So
Yeah.
that would be 22 BC. He was 33 years old when he died.
Oh,
Okay?
So there was a nail for
There
him?
was
Yes,
a
there
nail.
was a nail.
There we
Okay.
are.
There were plenty of nails for Jesus. Nails for Jesus. Oh God, we're not gonna go there.
Right, Carol.
No, because I was like,
Do the math. Do the math. He was 33 years old when he was crucified. Okay, so
It's not
the
a
next,
laughing matter.
the next important
Yes.
invention was
Oh.
the compass, because that enabled us to actually explore. Because
Sherlock
before
doesn't
that,
look convinced.
Yeah.
because before that we used the
The
stars.
sun, which is still there, and
The
it's still
stars,
a
not the sun.
reliable
We
way-
use the
method.
stars.
Yeah.
It is, as long as it's not cloudy.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. They said the compass using the stars didn't work during the day or on cloudy nights. So
Wow.
China did the first compass in 2 BC. I wish I could read my own handwriting. It was used for navigation, and then they started using it for navigation in the 11th and 12th century. Before that, I don't know what the hell they were using it for.
That's so
So,
interesting.
and it opened up the world for
Yeah.
exploration.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's
What year
And
was that again?
Huh?
What year?
2 BC.
All right.
That's China did it in 2 BC, but then we didn't use it for navigation until the 11th and 12th centuries.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and then the next one that they put in descending order was the printing press.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, the printing press that led to dissemination of knowledge.
Right. Right.
So, although Niall was saying something about it the other night, the printing press.
Yeah,
when I
before the
mentioned it.
Bible, he says
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Right. I think
Oh,
one of
it
the
was like
first things-
propaganda shit,
Yeah.
yeah.
One
Yeah.
of the first things printed was the Bible.
Yeah.
On the printing press.
Yeah.
However, it was also used very plentiful for distributing propaganda.
Yeah,
And fake
yeah.
news and
Yeah.
and just that's the way
Started
they
by
did.
Yeah,
It
that's
started
right.
there. Yeah.
And we continue to do that
Yes,
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're-
Don't we?
Yes,
Yes,
they are.
we do.
And then next was the internal combustion engine. Okay, that's
Okay.
Industrial Revolution.
Right.
When
Yeah.
does indoor plumbing come in?
Indoor plumbing. I don't have indoor plumbing in here, so you'll have to look that up yourself. I just put the top 10 in descending
Okay.
order according to whatever website I was on. I don't even remember, yes. And then the telephone.
Yes.
Wait, that was before the light bulb, the telephone?
No.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, we had the telegraph, but
The
not
telephone was
Right, the
1876. The patent was, they bought the patent in 1876, March 7th, 1876.
Mhm.
The first call was on March 10th to Thomas Watson,
Yep.
and Alexander Graham Bell said, do you remember what he said?
Yes, Mary had a little lamb.
Mr. Watson, come here, I want to
No,
see
but
you.
no, there was one. There was one.
There was one call, I remember that, but the first
Yeah.
call,
No, there really was.
I know, I do remember
Okay,
that.
I believe you.
but that's not in here.
Oh,
But
okay.
maybe it isn't true.
Right, right.
But
Well, I
they
have
said
it.
that he said he called Thomas Watson and he said, Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you.
But I have it on the Kenny. Who's the musician?
Chesney.
Rogers?
No.
Oh, no, I know. Kenny, the guy who I don't like
Plays
his music.
saxophone.
Yeah.
But his Christmas
G
album.
jazz.
Kenny G?
Yeah, Kenny G.
Yes,
Yes, and he has the Christmas album that goes through the, a lot.
You're
of-
taking your history from Kenny G.
Yeah, no, but
Really?
you hear Thomas Edison on it because
Yeah.
they use the and he says
Yeah.
Mary had a little and it is on the CD. Just saying.
And when Bell died on August 2nd, 1922, Graham Bell, when Alexander Graham Bell died on August 2nd, 1922, all telephone service in the United States and Canada stopped for 1 minute to honor him.
Oh.
I thought that was such an interesting fact. I didn't know that.
And now look how far the
Yeah.
telephone has come.
I know. Oh God, I know.
Do you think
Really.
he could have ever, and
I
Probably
can't even
not.
imagine.
Yeah.
Really, it's just confounding.
So now I asked Tate what his favorite invention was.
And who's Tate?
Tate is my grandson, and he's 10 years old, and he said the light bulb.
Oh,
And
he
the
did?
light bulb is actually one of the top 10 inventions. And the primary inventor was Edison in 1879, but there were other people involved in it. So, and I have a little story about that. I mean, it wasn't in 1879, but when my mom was a little girl, even though the light bulb was invented in 1879, not many people had electricity in their house at that time. And my mom was born in 1920. And she said when she was a little girl, she remembers coming home one day from wherever she was, I don't know. And her mother, my grandma, said, "Mildred, look at this." And she hit a switch or pulled a chain, and they had just gotten an electric light. And my mother said, I remember how it was like magic to me because they had illuminating lights, with the gas lights. So.
I remember on the Gilded Age, and the episode where they had
that's
with
right,
the town.
that's right, and they lit everything up.
Yep, the
that
whole
was such a
town.
good show.
Yeah, that's
I
got
hope that they do another season
There's
like
still
that.
something magical about the lights.
Oh,
You
there
know,
is.
Oh, there
absolutely.
really is,
I
and
think-
look what we do at Christmas time. I always wish that people would keep up their lights all winter and call them winter lights, because it makes you feel warmer and safer
Joyful,
and
hopeful.
Yeah,
Hopeful and
yeah.
joyful.
yeah. I love Christmas lights.
I do.
Okay, and then next was penicillin.
Right. What year
Okay.
was that?
That was in 1928. It was
Okay.
mass produced by 1944, so it took them that long.
But I wonder how difficult it was to convince people. This is good to do. This is good to take penicillin. This isn't going to hurt you. This is going to help
I
you.
don't know.
You
I don't
know?
know. I don't know. Well, it's like today, even
Well,
with the
that's what I
COVID
mean.
vaccine, people
That's
are
what I'm
still like,
saying.
I'm not taking that.
That's why I
Right,
said
right.
that because
Right.
yeah.
And it was
They had a
accidental.
podcast to document it in a way.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
here it is. So
Right. Exactly.
One of them was, I think it was the penicillin. It was accidental.
yes,
It was a
Yes.
petri dish
Yes,
that
it
was
was.
left uncovered by
The mold,
accident.
the mold on
And the
it.
mold killed
Right.
the bacteria in the
Absolutely.
petri dish.
Yes.
That
So,
I
yeah.
remember learning about that.
And that was Alexander Fleming. And next was contraceptives.
Really?
And the FDA approved the pill in 1960.
Right.
And I was reading a
But
little
before
bit about that.
Before
Still
the
fighting
pill, though, I
for
mean,
it.
Well, they did have,
Trojans, that kind of thing.
yeah, but they weren't that effective.
Mhm.
And not the IUD. I wish I would have written it down because I did read a lot about Margaret Sanger. I've been reading about her, and she's the one. She really started the whole cycle with the pill.
Right.
She actually started Planned Parenthood, but it wasn't called Planned Parenthood. It was called the American Birth Center or something.
Oh, okay.
And she treated women who had botched abortions.
Oh.
And she had the first legal contraceptive center in the United States. and that was the beginning of Planned Parenthood.
Where, do you know where was
I think it was in New York.
Oh, was
I
it?
think
Okay.
it was, but I'm not 100% positive.
Okay.
I should have.
It's funny you said
You know,
the name
written
Margaret
it down.
Sanger. I had to look something up because
Yeah.
I wanted to mention something similar.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
we're not there yet, but
Yeah.
I had to double check.
Yeah, so anyway, there were other forms of contraception, but they weren't that dependable
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even available to a lot of
Right.
women. So
That's
this
another
year,
podcast, folks.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. And she didn't invent the pill, it was her idea. And then she worked with other people who were married to rich men that could invest in it. And then there were 2 doctors involved. It's pretty interesting to read about.
Yes.
You know, I was reading about it this morning.
The whole mindset.
Yep,
too.
so
I
you
mean,
know, it
it's
took
good.
many years and it was finally approved in 1960 and she was starting in the early 1900s, so. And then number 10 is what?
I say it.
Bathrooms?
Yes, bathrooms. No, the internet.
Internet.
The internet. The
And
World
what year
Wide
was-
Web in
what year-
1989.
Oh, 89.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can still remember it.
www. dot.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I know. We
Yeah.
had to log in with DOS all the
Oh my
time,
goodness.
so.
And that has changed the world
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
So, yeah.
That I asked Jessica what her favorite anesthesia invention was, and she said anesthesia.
Jessica.
She said anesthesia, of course, and peanut butter.
And you know what? Anesthesia is actually a really clever thing to think about.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that
Yeah.
really helped mankind a
And
lot.
to understand,
Yeah.
you know, the dosage, the
Yeah.
length,
Yeah.
you know, to doing it to body type, body weight, you know how.
I
to-
was reading about that too, and how they at first the doctor would just like give you chloroform or
Yes,
something.
I remember that.
And they started killing people
Yes.
because it wasn't, you know, no one was a specialist.
yes.
And then they started saying, all right, let's let the nurses do it. And there was this one nurse, oh God, I hope I wrote it down because she was so smart. And of course I didn't. I just got pulled into the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing this morning when I was reading. And I didn't write it down. But anyway, this one nurse who became a specialist with it. And out of 14,000 surgeries, she never lost a patient because
Wow.
she really. Then they started saying, okay, we
The
need to
nurses
make this
rock.
a specialty. And like these people, they're going to make less money than the doctor. They're going to be subordinate to the doctor, but they're going to be specialty. It's going to be their specialty. They're going to know how to do it so patients don't die or wake up during surgery.
Oh, God.
So that's how the whole
Wow.
anesthesiologist thing started. And Riley said the best invention was herself.
Cheers to you, Riley.
And Peter was thinking about it, and then he started laying the floor in the kitchen, so that was the
Oh,
end of
that
that.
was
But
So what do you
but-
think is? Oh, now I was going to ask you what you think. Of
my
this.
favorite invention? I don't know. You know, it's funny. I was reading all about
Yeah.
inventions, and I really didn't.
Well,
Think
we know
very much.
we know Judy's is the bathroom, obviously.
No, that's not
Yeah.
true. I mean, it is, but my favorite invention was in the 70s, and it's by a man named Fred Sanger, which I had to double
Oh.
check. I said, no, it's a
Oh.
different, different, but same
Yeah.
name, same spelling too. I wanted to double check the spelling. And he's actually the only person to date to win the Nobel Prize for Chemistry twice.
Oh.
And he invented the sequence the secret to reading the sequencing of DNA.
Oh, that's
Oh.
pretty cool.
And once
Wow.
he uncovered that,
Mine sounds pretty pathetic compared to this.
you know,
one now.
he was able, look at the jumps, leaps and bounds, not only medical
Mhm.
research, but
And
genetic,
criminology
going back to
and
our history,
Yeah.
down to the Neanderthals, the Denisovans, everything to,
I
and that's
know.
not,
Really
we're
intense.
able to map the
Right.
origins
yeah, I know, it's
of
amazing.
the Homo, sapiens,
Yeah.
Homo
Yeah.
erectus, everything, the genealogy,
Wow.
and plus get ourselves on this path to,
Right.
uncoding, our genetic.
I like
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. I like
And just
yours.
think, on Jurassic Park, they made dinosaurs.
Absolutely, so that would be my favorite one.
My favorite just sounds so lame.
No.
And it's probably not in my, I hadn't really gave any thought that much, but the washing machine.
Oh God, no! Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I think, I remember my mom when I was a little girl, we had a wringer washer. Like we
Yeah.
had, like should bring
Yeah.
and then not even the dryer, because you can hang out your clothes. That's fine, you know. But the washing machine.
Makes
Yeah,
a
my
big
mom had a
difference.
washer. We didn't have a dryer.
We didn't have it.
You
We
know,
never
so,
had a dryer,
yeah.
and there's nothing like smelling clothes out in the summertime on the
Oh
clothesline.
God, your sheets.
Yeah.
Even when I lived in Levittown, I always hung out and then
I still
smelled
get
my
that. My
sheets.
in-laws
I
from
don't
Ireland,
have
they
a-
still they hang there out and they're always like, how come you use a dryer? I'm like,
I know.
because it's quicker. Like
I
I just
know.
need to
You
get
know,
it.
In a lot of places, there's home associations too.
You're
You're
not
not even
allowed-
allowed to
I'm
have.
not allowed to have it.
you know.
But in the wintertime, my mom would hang the clothes on the porch. But you
Would
knew when
freeze.
you knew when they were dry because they were thawed out because they used to freeze.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
they're still frozen.
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
not kidding you.
But
Uh-huh.
we wouldn't. I mean, no, it's a big important invention because a lot of it we wouldn't be able to do what we do
Beating
today.
rocks.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We'd be,
you know.
the amount of laundry we do now using
Oh.
a washing machine and a dryer.
We would
wouldn't
not
be
have the
able to.
number of clothes we have now.
No,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have number of clothes or the time that we're able to
Yeah.
do other things if it
And
wasn't
the
for us.
sanitation of it, like with
Yes.
blankets and
Yes.
sheets
Oh my
and
gosh.
really, I mean, and the labor. You think of women beating
Yeah.
rugs and scrubbing things, and
And see what you just said? And it's
Women.
fun.
it affected women. It was an invention that really
Exactly.
helped women free up some
Absolutely.
time. And
Absolutely.
then, of course, one of my favorite is camera.
Oh, well,
Because I
sure.
love taking photographs.
Yes.
And then how about eyeglasses?
I would be a bumbling idiot without these
And
glasses.
that was,
I
Are those your
absolutely-
glasses? No.
These are mine. No,
No.
they're not. These are mine. I
Now,
am still a
Benjamin
bumbling
Franklin.
idiot.
I'm a fan of Benjamin Franklin too, and he
Right.
did invent a lot of things.
Right.
Some of them were trivial, but I don't think
Sure.
most of them were. And he invented bifocals because he
Oh,
got
I read
tired
that, yeah.
of switching his glasses,
that,
so
yeah.
he cut the lenses in half, and
Yes.
and he had his reading
But
ones.
isn't that interesting? Because that's what really probably
Mhm.
why inventions are. You try to make something, improve on something.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what
yeah.
you
Say,
have to
oh,
do.
this is.
Do you
this
ever
sucks."
have any ideas for an invention?
You do.
I have two things, but they're not really inventions. They're really things to market. But my family just made fun of me all the time.
I need
So
to hear
one
this.
day we were sitting around my dining room table with my kids, and we were all drinking wine on stem glasses.
Really? You were drinking wine? Yeah, that's so unusual.
And my grandkids were little, so there was this little plastic Tyrannosaurus Rex on the table, and I was playing with it, and it had its little arms, and I took it and I stuck it to the rim of my glass, and I said, I'm gonna invent winosaurs, and this, instead of the wine charms, they were little, and I said, look how cute that is. It was a little dinosaur that just clung onto your thing so that you can know which was your wine
Somebody
glass.
in our audience is going to steal
She's gonna
it.
steal my idea.
So,
Well,
My
that was
kids-
very useful because I took your wine glass.
That's right.
That's right.
And I
It
just said,
actually exists already.
the winosaurs. Well, I invented this a long
Maybe
time
not the
ago.
name.
It was a long time ago, and I thought the name was perfect. Winosaurs.
they're not wine charms, they're winosaurs.
They're winosaurs.
Absolutely.
But my kids really made fun of me.
You should
And
go on
my
Shark
well, if you go on Shark Tank, you have to have sales already,
Yeah.
and you have to have production.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I don't know how to produce this stuff.
Who has
My
time for
other
that?
thing, I might still do it, but somebody might really steal my idea.
So don't say
If
it.
you steal my idea, could you give me
We're
some
gonna
money?
sue you.
We're here. Wait, the date is that we're saying this is November 12th, 2022.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And Judy's a lawyer.
I'll come for you too.
They're called. One day, I was somewhere on the subway or someplace, and I noticed, it was the doctor's office, and I noticed these old people in there with their canes. And on their canes, it was like around a holiday, they had all stickers for the holiday. So I said, I could invent a sleeve that slips on, that's already decorated for the holiday. And I called them cane coats. And they were made out of stretchy material, like a nylon
right.
stretchy spandex material, and the fabric is already pre-printed for the holiday. So you can have a Halloween one, you can have a Thanksgiving one, you can have a summer one, a spring one, a Christmas one, a Hanukkah one,
That
with
you
it
could
all
do.
decorated.
You know what? That one you could
And
do.
that is a good idea. Even my kids thought that was a good idea,
you
but I don't know how to do
I
it.
have something a similar idea, whereas like how we see the car magnets are such a big deal. Like like I have one, a crazy chicken lady or whatever it is on the back, or it's a boy. I love my dog,
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking, what if they made a magnet like that, just like a whole length of a car, and they break it up. And it'd be like, it's a girl, it's a boy, like announcing, the
Right.
sex of your baby. They put them on the front of your lawn,
Right,
girls, but you want people who they want to go and.
Well, I thought like having a computer connected to the back of your car and say, "Get off my asshole," or "Back it up," or something like that. Like you could write
I used to
messages.
think of that too. Too bad I don't have it scrolling.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
wouldn't be good for me.
We're gonna
Yeah.
be close. We're gonna be close to running out of
Yeah.
time.
Oh, so
Bill.
that's a good
okay.
one. I like
Yeah.
that
Well,
one.
wait a minute. I probably have more. I have a couple
All
of
right.
minutes.
Well, all right.
All right. Do we have questions from the audience?
No, but this is very entertaining.
Do you have any inventions you want, or you've invented?
Back in the day, I thought of creating something where you could pay like an app. So if you were in the movies and you didn't want to miss it, you could stream the movie while you're in the restroom.
Oh,
and
that's
so
a
you
good
couldn't miss
idea.
it, and you would only have access to it.
Oh, that's
access
so
to it
fun.
for a few
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
That's
All right.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they said they just created something for people for the hearing impaired that they could have the captions on their phone from the theater, like you can do an app.
Remember the time we were in the movie where?
No? What?
Oh yeah, we'll talk
Go
about it
ahead.
offline.
Oh, okay.
The lion one, and then
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we won't talk about that.
No.
But yeah,
Okay.
that might be useful then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, anyway, and one thing I learned today, because Jessica said anesthesia and peanut butter, because she loves peanut butter.
Yes.
George Washington Carver did not invent peanut butter.
Who did?
It's attributed to him, but somebody else did, and I don't remember his name.
Peter
But
Pan.
him and one of the Kellogg's, Herman Kellogg, they this man did peanut butter. Peanut butter. I think somebody else did peanut paste, but George Washington Carver did a lot of things with peanuts. And he never he did very few patents on anything, and it was because he thought that it should belong to everyone.
Oh.
I was reading about him
Wow.
today. He sounded like such a wonderful person.
Oh,
Could you
wow.
be friends with him?
I could.
Well,
But
what
no,
did
he
you
didn't
think?
invent peanut butter. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I don't.
All
I
right.
just don't. Do you want to go check your time?
Our
on
monitor is
No, it's
giving us the
fine.
flash.
Yeah.
We're good.
I know.
All right.
All right.
I like this discussion. I
This
thought
was
it
a
was
it
fun
was fun.
discussion, definitely. So the next one is not going to be for a while because of our schedules,
right.
but we are going to have Heidi from Yorkie 911 who will be here, and we'll be talking to her. And I tried to encourage her to bring some of her dogs, so
Yay.
that should be fun.
That will
So
be very fun.
And Yorkie 911 is a rescue.
So
Yes.
dogs.
and remember, adopt, don't
Yes, thank you
shop.
for clarifying
They have
that.
wonderful, perfect dogs for you.
Yeah.
Just take a look.